How do you win the grand final? Great question.
A wonderful, wonderful atmosphere inside Old Trafford. These are the men we have come to see.
The two best sides in the Women's Super League go head to head.
This is the moment when the hair on the back of the neck will stand on end.
The thrill, the nerve-jangling excitement of emerging from that tunnel away to our left into this explosive atmosphere.
For a grand final, I feel like all the hard work is sort of done throughout the season and you're at that point. I think it comes down to, well, obviously who performs best on the day, but I think it comes down to the preparations beforehand.
It starts on the Monday the week before, and it's a real special week, you know, in regards to the intensity of training, you know, knowing what's coming, the media commitments, the suit fittings. Everything's enjoyable because, you know, you've played all year to play in this, to make this occasion.
You've got to approach it like another normal game, but you have to accept that there's excitement in there, and I think you have to thrive in that. I think you have to accept it, acknowledge it, and ride the wave of it. You know, allow it to come to your way. You've earned the right to be there.
Sometimes it's a whirlwind week. You're doing media, you're doing press, you're all over, you train at different venues, and you don't stop to breathe and you don't stop to think. But you're there for a reason because you're good at what you do. Your team's good at what they do. So ultimately, keep doing what you're doing and don't try and change too much.
I enjoyed everything that come with it in regards to, you know, I had a big responsibility as captain, you know, for majority of the time that, you know, you're doing a lot of the media commitments, you know, you're doing radio, you're doing TV, you're doing interviews. Again, you're getting mithered to death for tickets off people. You know, and there's a cut-off point for that sort of stuff, but I think that's all part of the enjoyment of the week.
You know, the grand final, in essence, is won in the video room. It's won on the game plan. It's won on your actions in training, how you train in that week.
If you are in a grand final, you've obviously been successful throughout that season to get to that point anyway. So hopefully, you know, you are going into the game feeling confident, feeling ready to perform, feeling like, you know, that win is achievable. And I think that if you are feeling those things, I know definitely when I've gone into finals, feeling that level of confidence and feeling, you know, ready to take on that challenge, I feel like, yeah, you are already a step forward in winning that game.
With the grand final, when you're lacing up and you're sat in the change rooms at Old Trafford, you know that you are the top two teams of the year and you're going out there to be the best team consistently. And they call it the theatre of dreams, and it is exactly that.
The question you get asked a lot is, do you miss playing? I don't miss the week to week. When I'm sat at a grand final and I see, you know, players walk out of that corner at Old Trafford, that's what I miss.
A fantastic atmosphere, and out they come, and they all look eager for it. They all look ready. The crowd, they most certainly are. What a noise as the two teams emerge.
Just an unbelievable feeling to see the atmosphere, like you say, the fireworks, all the fans, you know, screaming, and it's just a money can't buy experience.
When I walked out, it was the hairs on the back of your neck go up because you know that you've dreamt to the moment and you've had to work so hard. There's been so many ups and downs throughout the current season, never mind your career. So to get there is probably the pinnacle, but one of the most difficult things you can do as a player.
I really love that in the tunnel where you're sort of like lined up against your opposition and you know that you're ready to go out and sort of like it's going to be a battle on the field. I really thrive off that sort of energy where you are competing against somebody else. So I think, yeah, I love that element of the game and that walking out and that point.
The beauty of Old Trafford is you walk down and you just see the, you know, the smoke building up and you can't see the crowd because of the grass bank, but then you're in that tunnel, and that's probably the most nervous part. You're aware that you're going to be hit with a wall of noise and you're into something special. But, you know, to be honest, I always, you know, when you walk out and you hear the roar, the fireworks, that for me is, cheesy as it sounds, the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. But then, you know, obviously you line up, you wave to your family, and then for me, the crowd goes.
Is set. Here we go. The stage is set. Liam Moore is the referee. Tommy Atkinson gets The grand final underway.
I think everybody wants to set the platform and go out there strong, definitely in the first sort of couple of minutes of the game, and set the tone for how the game's going to continue. So yeah, it's huge, and everybody wants to start strong in a final and start as they mean to go on.
If you're kicking off, you know that kick chase is going to be as quick as you've ever been. You know if you're catching the ball, that defensive line's coming at you quick, and it is going to be aggressive, because it's just that winning mentality. It's on the big stage. It's the main event of the year. You've played all year for this one game.
I think the stakes are really high, aren't they? And I think that obviously adds extra dimension to what's achievable and what's, you know, the goal at the end of that game. So there is more pressure, and I don't think anybody wants to go into a final and walking away the loser.
You know, and it can tail off, and you see a lot of teams who start quick and it tails off because it's not something they can sustain, and that's often when opportunities come. But for me personally, I love that environment. I always think that, you know, the biggest games brought out the best performances, and grand finals is certainly one of that.
And if you can leave the best version of you as an individual and you as a team out there, then that's all you can really do. And hopefully on the day, that's enough to get the victory. But sometimes you can perform to your absolute best, and you don't get the performance, and that doesn't make you, you know, any less of a person. If you put it all out there and you perform, I think you can sleep at night. The worry is that, you know, you freeze a little bit or you underperform for whatever reason, and that's when you have the big regrets, and you can't just be content with your career or content after the game that you've give it all.
Percival back across the field. Little kick from Percival. Amor is chasing, and he might have got there.
Here's a high kick from Joel Moon. Eden's underneath this. Eden has lost it. Maguire swoops. Maguire scores the try for the Rhinos.
She's been a real catalyst for Saints.
And now Hardcastle on the back of that. Amy Hardcastle romping away. Amy Hardcastle. Back-to-back tries for St Helens.
Sutton plays it to Powell. O'Loughlin switches the direction of the attack to Lula White. Lula White will give it to Tompkins. Wide they go. Manfredi! Dominic Manfredi wins the grand final for Wigan.
You know, grand finals are real special games. I always class them as kind of a test match. I think it's the next level up on a regular Super League game in regards to the intensity, the speed of the game. And usually you're playing against, you know, one of the best sides in the competition, so you've got to be on form. And for me, it's about the team that handles the pressure of the big stage, and ultimately, you know, makes the right decisions at the right times.
The game of rugby league ebbs and flows all the time, and you have to be able to cope and withstand pressure, and you have to make the best decisions under fatigue at speed.
You've got to be fearless, and sometimes that can be through inexperience, not really knowing the consequences of dropping a ball or throwing a poor pass. So youthful inexperience is sometimes great because they are fearless, but then often you know, just playing a solid game and not trying too hard. I played in 6 finals, and emotionally it's very difficult to treat it as another game, but that's what it is.
I think you've just got to do your job. And it's as simple as it sounds. Do your job. Don't try and be the hero. Just do your job. And that's a message that you hear time and time again in professional sport. You sometimes even see it on the walls in some changing rooms. Do your job.
I just want to see people that are up for it, people that are loud, passionate, you know, getting off the line, and I think that I'm fortunate in the teammates that I've got, and that I'm usually in the middle of the field. I've got that around me. I think the worst thing that you could do is if you look to your left or your right and you see somebody who's kind of looking really nervous, looking like they're backing away from that sort of battle that's coming to you, you know, then that panic probably would set in for me, because I'm thinking, I'm now worried about this person next to me as well as the people in front of me.
You know, these games are often very, very tight. You know, I've played in games where, you know, there's been 1 or 2 tries in the whole of the game, and when them opportunities come, you've got to be able to take them. So I think it's about doing the making the right decisions under pressure.
So yeah, I think you want to see those people who are stepping up to the challenge, who are being vocal, who are sort of ready to take that on. That if anything gives you a boost, and you know you're in a good position when you see that.
Because the Rhinos are the Super League champions again. The 2018 Betfred Super League champions are the Wigan Warriors.
It goes the way of the cup winners, the double winners, the Leeds Rhinos.
3 in a row for Saints. The three-peat is achieved. An 8th grand final win.
It's a money can't buy experience. You know, when that final whistle goes and you know you're Super League champions, you know you're gonna lift that trophy. Everything that you've worked for from, you know, January, February, you know, all through pre-season from the couple of months before, is all about that one moment. And when you're successful and all that hard work has paid off, you know, it is a priceless feeling. And then you know you're going to get a crack at the Aussies as well in, you know, the start of the following year.